Yo, what's up, everybody? It is your boy TSD. If you don't know what that stands for, check out the first episode of what I'm calling bullish, because we do talk that bullish, kind of corny, but still, I'm gonna stick with it for now because we do talk that bullish here. But if you don't know what TSD stands for, check out the last episode, like I said. For this format, so if you weren't with us last episode, which was the first maiden episode. Maybe I'll drop a link somewhere wherever links go, maybe at the bottom, top, left, right. I don't know what the case may be, but I'll drop that link because basically how I want to do this, how I want to format it is Sunday. What's going to go down on Sunday is basically I'm going to pull together a lot of the like maybe three or four stocks I'm looking at for the week. And I want to explain, those are my dogs if you hear them. I want to explain like why I'm looking at them, like what makes me watch them, right? To hopefully help myself, but also maybe help somebody else. Again, I'm not a planner, financial advisor, or anything like that. Professional. I'm pretty amateur at it, but I've had some success. I mean, I'm a couple thousand pages into research, and it's just something I love to do. Something that definitely is very risky, but also very rewarding, and not just in the monetary sense, in the fucking doing something else sense. You can be doing a lot. You can have a lot of bad vices, and if your vices is trying to make more money, hey, that's a good vice, a good hobby to have. So that's kind of how I look at it. So, like I said, Sunday is more of like the hey, this is what I'm looking at to start the week, and I want to do Thursday. It's like, hey, this is how my shit from Sunday went down. Right? It's gonna be good. It's gonna be bad, but at least I want to wrap up and say, hey, this is why I was watching them. This is what I think happened. Again, hey, take it with a grain of salt. But this is also for me to kind of look at it and say, hey, am I growing? One way or the other, am I growing or am I not growing? And that's kind of how I'm using this. And hopefully somebody else, find some value. But let's just jump right in. Stocks focus on the week. If you were watching that on Sunday, we're looking at Walmart. I was looking at Walmart. I was looking at Ford. I was looking at Synaptics. I was looking at rocket companies. We'll go through them and see kind of how they were working out, right? So I think the first thing we can take a look at is right here, Rocket, right? So this is one that I looked at. Yeah, like I said on Sunday, and the reason I like this one is because this was actually something that was talked about. Um, I'm a part of a trading investing group, and I definitely think if you're into it, if that's your jam, definitely find a group. If you need one, let me know. I like the group. They're more day trading, but they do some swing trading. And if you don't know the difference of that is, you should probably do some research. Not to be a dick, but also like let's just say day trading is more intraday. So like in the same day you buy and you sell, whereas swing trading is more of the like you buy it in one day and you sell it the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year, whatever the fucking case may be. I think that definitely you don't want to hold some stuff for a year, but that's kind of the difference between day and swing trading. The group that I'm a part of is primarily day traders, but they do have a swing trading component or aspect to it. So maybe it's interesting for you. Let me know and I'll hook you up. Not I will hook you up like I have the hookup or anything, but they're a good group and maybe I can point you in the right direction. Sorry, I'm just drinking while I'm doing this, so it's gonna go downhill from here. This isn't gonna be too long. I just want to wrap it up. Anyways, Rocket was something that was talked about in the group and something that I want to take a look at. The reason why I liked it early on and why I call it on Sundays, because to me it had a really nice ABCD pattern. If you don't know what that is, you can check the screen. A, B, C is this consolidation point at the bottom. You can kind of draw some support right here and say, hey, C is right here, right? That low point is right here. And what you want to look for ABCD patterns is that D. When the price actually breaks what it was trading at. You have a couple different entry points here. I like to be more conservative. Sometimes you'll lose some money out doing it that way, but hey, I like to see the break of the original A B pattern to say, hey, let me trade it again. Like if I would have saw this here, this probably on 818 would have probably been a really good entry point. This is just looking at a day chart, right? We'd have all that upward momentum here. How people like to think about ABCD patterns, though, and the reason why I was looking at it is because high level, you can do a lot of things to get your price point or price target. So like what you're shooting for. But basically, what a lot of people I see do is take that first A to B pattern and then layer that on the top, right? So like if that was like a let's say that's 18 to 20 27, just some high off the top of off of the dome math. You see that consolidation point here at 18. It's breaking that point here, and you have like a price point that you can layer on this on the back end and say, hey, from 27 to 36 or 38 is where I'm looking for that price point. This actually doesn't support it yet. Not to say it's not going to do it in the future. What I like about this is although it did break out but didn't break out to that price point, it still made that breakout. But actually, it's actually using this. If you look at this, it's it's actually the old resistance is becoming new support, and you can see it over the last couple days, starting on the 25th. So if we would have looked at it, we might would have made something off of that, but basically it's using that old resistance as support. So like the price is trying to bounce lower than that, but it hasn't been able to, and hopefully we can see that consolidation at this new point and that jump up here. But I think this is more interesting, not necessarily for a swing trade, but for a day trade. And I think the reason why my day trading group was loving it is because you can like count on this almost to hit that resistance. So hit that support right onto, let's say, 275, and then bounce off of that. It's showing really good day trading patterns to me as a reversal play off of the bottom. But as you can see, like since I've started looking at least, it's basically in a downward trend. It's using this, like as we looked at, as a support. So the price hasn't been able to go lower, but the trend is definitely downward. And as kind of just look annotated here, just looking at this like that, I see MACD, which if you don't know what MACD is, this is a very important indicator to me. Everyone's different. The MACD is kind of turning a little bearish. The RSI is a little oversold. If you don't know what RSI is, definitely look that up as well. These are kind of the things that I use. I use RSI, I use MACD, I use average volume and volume over average, and that's the other reason why, and then price point as well. But that's the other thing I like this about. If like about this is if you see this yellow line here, that's actually the average volume that's getting traded. And if you see these numbers, like day traders are pushing this bitch up, you know. So I think that, you know, as a day trading mechanism, I think it's super valuable just because that volume is there. This, traders are actively, especially day traders, actively watching it, but they don't give a shit to me about the swing trade. It's more about the day trade. So maybe this is more of a day trade play than a swing trade. I do think that overall, like I annotated there, it's gonna like push down a little bit lower just because you have that triangle where basically the price point is making lower highs, lower high, lower high, lower high. You know, that's a higher high, but still like, and lower lows as well. Low, low, low. But it's making lower lows and lower highs. So that overall is to me signaling a very bullish, or like, you know, something that's gonna trade off soon. But I'm gonna keep on watching this one, not just for the day trading aspect, but once it does like either break below this and then do that same reversal play. Like if it breaks below a certain number and I see it's holding that support, the reversal play to the upside at the end of that. So I think that's a good one. That was kind of more the shakier one. I wasn't really like expecting that one. I just kind of heard about it right before the show, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's take a look." The other one that I looked at was Synaptics, and I have heard about this before, but at the same time, like it wasn't something I looked at. So if I look at Synaptics, it was pretty flat on Monday. So I kind of called it out here, pretty flat. Obviously, like right if you look at the chart. But interesting thing, you know, this was, and the reason why I was kind of hesitant about this one as well is because like it was already pretty oversold, or sorry, overbought. You, as you can see, like with the RSI just like shooting up there. Basically, when you look at RSI, you have like two numbers, and you have like, you know, well, you have a bunch of fucking numbers, but basically you have two really important numbers. That's 30 and 70. Anything above 70 is pretty overbought, meaning there could be a possible reversal coming, so the price action might change. That's exactly what you saw with this, and that's why I was hesitant to go into it. But I'm watching these to see what they're doing because other people are talking about them. And let me show you what I mean. Like it's actually overselling, right? You see that huge selling action come in. You see RSI is extended. MACD is basically you know, how bullish or how bearish it is. So the further the further the blue line is from the yellow line, the more it's actually moving in that direction when they converge. So when they get closer together, they're you know, it signals a possible reversal, and that's exactly what happened here. But the thing I loved about this one, if you watch it, there was actually, I think, some news that came out on Tuesday. If you look at live news, yeah, the 25th. You know, somebody retired, right? Somebody important retired. And the reason I like that, not, I mean, congratulations for him, but you see that news come out and the price shitted. And that's exactly the time when I would take a look at it to enter in once it finds a support. So it pushed lower, you know, to what, 85. And then you see that slow uptick over the VWAP. VWAP is what day traders use to say, hey, like I'm bullish or bearish. So anything over that VWAP line is pretty good. It's safer, not safe. Anything below is like it's trending down and to the right. But as you can see, like they had that huge news. Everyone sold off. Everyone panicked. It found support on here, and I would have probably bought at that line. Push over the VWAP, keeps on trading up until like 88, 88, 89 maybe. So yeah, about that. So that's exactly what I'm looking for when I'm saying I'm watching these to see what they're going to do throughout the week. Because bam, you pop there, you know, for a good 85 and you sell at a good 89. I mean, that's money right there, you know. And it just kind of kept on. It's kind of staying in that same motion here. But as I annotated here, kind of same different plays. You know, boom, double bottom is pretty bullish in terms of like signals. So hey, I'm looking at this. I see a double bottom, pretty easy squeeze up to the VWAP. Once it breaks, it doesn't hold and it pushes down. But I would probably be selling right there. But basically, like hey, people are watching this. There's money to be made on that, right? So again, this is more as a could have been seen more as a day trade, but as with Rocket and Synaptics, like these are possible swing plays once you get the best price you can possibly get. Don't buy in the middle. Buy at support and buy at resistance, breaking that. All the money, like the money's made at the bottom and at the top. Don't buy in the middle because that's where all the suckers are buying, right? So you want to get as low as you can or possible break for the new one. It's a riskier play sometimes to buy the break. Like buy the if I would have bought the break of that, which I didn't, because I knew that like hey, it was pretty fucking oversold or overbought at that point and it was going to reverse soon. You would have seen that breakout here and there was a little bit of money to be made, but not a lot, as you can kind of tell. Hey, it hit that high, and I think that high is like the highest it's ever been traded. Yeah, it's making overall it's pretty bit bullish. Looking over the past year or 3 years, it's going the right direction, but at the same time, there's probably better money to be made somewhere else. In my opinion as well. And as you can already see, like that 85 is already pretty topping out. So that's this double top push down. I mean that's also COVID. So hey, take it with a grain of salt. Overall, it's still bullish to me. Before the short to medium term, there's probably money to be made elsewhere. Going into the money to be made elsewhere, one of the ones that I was super confident about, I really love, just because I'm a huge fan, and I call this out at that magic number of 666. And if you watch that last one, hey, I love that number. Not because I'm into demons or anything like that, but I love it for Ford because I always find that as a great reversal price to buy off of for it to push up. Let me show you what I mean. And overall, looking at this year, or sorry, at the day level for the past year, look how beautiful this thing is. You definitely see that COVID effect here from that sharp downward spike. But man, look at that overall trend. As similar as we were looking at, similar to Synaptics, it's overall but bullish, right? So it's definitely going in the right direction. And also it's pretty easy to watch the trades and to kind of understand what it's doing. It's basically right now bouncing between this support and resistance line of 678. So anything below 679 is a fucking steal because it's bouncing between that and about $7. $7. I have a mark here for 715. So once it hits that, easy money, right? But basically, it's kind of like channeling that. It's still consolidating, still moving to the right. So, like I said, with the don't buy in the middle. I mean, you can buy in the middle, but like the money's made at the bottom. So here, anything below that, perfect. So that six, whatever is hitting, or is a little bit further back. Uh, yeah, anything like below that, 665. Oh, money. That's an easy buy for me at least. Not saying to do it, but because you're gonna see that reversal come up and exactly what it did. That what is it? Monday? Yeah, that Monday morning. Boom, 710. And if you can make 5, 6%, 7% on a trade, that's all you need to do. You don't need to fucking 10x your money or 20x or 30 or fucking 100x. You just need to get that 5% gain and then maybe try to scale out of your position from there. But if you can do that consistently, you're going to be a very profitable trader and your money's going to go a lot further. So Ford was a great play. Like I said, I love buying it. Anything under this line is perfect. It's still overall bullish, so it's still a good value to me at least. Because I think it still has legs, especially if you kind of take a step back and look at the overall trend. RSI is going up, right? If you look at the day over day, I'm looking to see like is the overall trend going to hold? And I mean, everyone charts things differently, but if you look at that overall trend, there's nothing breaking below. Like it pops below this like my trend line that I have for it, but doesn't close below it. So to me, that's still holding that positive bullish trend up and to the right. But the thing about Ford though is it takes fucking millions of shares to move this bitch because it's so fucking like it's under $10. So you think the market cap is low, but actually like there's millions of shares I have to trade every day to move this bitch. So let's see, what it was is 44 million shares traded today, and it's not even over the average. So it takes a while. It's like a big ass fucking Cadillac. It takes a long time to start, takes a long time to stop, but it's slow moving, and consistent. So you can watch those, find your entry point that makes sense to you, make some money off of that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So overall, like I said, it's pretty to me still bullish. You got the RSI poking up. If you look at the day, it's 52, which is about right in the middle of 30 and 70, right? So it's pretty much playing that. It's poking up, but also this MACD looks like it wants to turn up too. And when I look at MACD, hey, you want that blue line as far away from that yellow line that's showing growth and that's showing that, like, think about it like looking in the future. Like, it takes a while to stop a car. You don't just stop automatically. It slowly glides, and that's exactly what MACD shows you. It shows you kind of what that possible forward movement is, whereas RSI is more looking in the past to see, is it overbought, is it oversold, is there a reversal coming, and price is like in the now, what price is doing now. So you put those three together and you see the past, the present, and to me the future. But everyone uses things differently. But hey, that's just kind of what I'm looking at. I still look forward. I'm still watching this. I'm not gonna say I'm holding it because I don't want to make that to anyone else, like put that on you, like, hey, you should get into it now. But hey, it's looking pretty good to me. So take it for what it is. So yeah, that's Ford. Definitely had that pop on Monday. Like I said, this is one of the ones that were like, hey man, you get that pop, and you kind of have to take your profits on that one. The other one I want to talk about, so other than Ford, Synaptics, Rocket, is my fucking Bay, my Bay Walmart, bruh. This motherfucker killed me today. So Walmart was one that I was kind of, it's a similar story, and I didn't talk about Best Buy, but I should have. But basically, Walmart, it was a story of a earnings report that was great, but not great enough for investors. So how you play earnings, basically, if you swing trade, people don't like to hold. I think people don't like to hold through earnings because as good as the earnings can be, and earnings is basically each quarter a company says, "Hey, this is how I did." Even if it fucking shoots it out of the park like it did with Walmart and Target and Lowe's and Home Depot last week, even though it's good, was it good enough? And in the case of Walmart, it was great, but was it great enough? Investors thought no, you can actually see that. And I was kind of putting it out here. Again, you see those kind of channels looking day over day. But basically, if you look back in the past, let's say 10 days, 30 minutes, this was actually the earnings that came out. So earnings building up for earnings, it hit 144. So if you bought at this, oh man, I feel bad for you because and that's why it's hard to play earnings. The way I like to play earnings after learning the hard way is play off of the reversal. As similar as we looked at that double bottom or whatever with Synaptics and Rocket or whatever the case may be. Like you watch it and you see if it goes up and to the right, if it grows, hey, you missed that opportunity. Fine. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. But in my experience, earnings, it shits it, more often than not. And that's exactly what happened with Walmart. It came up, people, the earnings came out, people were like, oh, fuck, like I didn't like it. Shot down, right? And people were shitting on it like, oh, people losing money. It's great. Like, hey, I'm sorry you're losing money, but at the same time, you should probably, you were playing it pretty risky. For me, the less risky play is to watch it. Watch that bitch go all the way down. Watch it. Just watch. Wait for it to find support. Wait for it to get to a low and not be able to break lower than that. And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly how I play this motherfucker. Is I said, oh, great. Earnings came out. Oh, actually, people hated it. Okay, fine. Watch that play. Watch that play and then find that double bottom. So this is at the 30-minute chart, right? So this is, not 5 minutes, not a day, but looking at that, hey, it found really strong support at 130. And what I mean by strong support is it didn't touch it and bounce off. It touched it a couple times. It comes back to it. To me, that's a great play, especially at the end of the day, start of the next day to say, hey, like this thing is actually respecting the support line. And even in that same day, boom, you have a super hard bounce to 132 right there because people were playing it the same way. What we're looking at, everyone else is looking at. It's basically a self-fulfilling prophecy. All these fucking indicators, all this fancy shit, whatever. Everyone's looking at the same shit. And as long as you play it with the crowd or a little bit ahead of the crowd, never against the crowd, you're gonna be in a better position than normal than not, right? So exactly that. Like people are seeing this, it's hitting that, it's playing with that support line as well. And then hey, people find value in it. Boom, bounces out. I did notice I was watching this right, so I was just looking at indicators and stuff and saying, okay, cool, like this is what I think is going to happen. Whatever the case may be, it's still finding support at that line. Sometimes it's poking under but not closing under, which is important to me because if I'm seeing this and but for me, if I'm watching this and it closes at a day level under here, because as swing trader, I'm looking at the daily, right? If it busts this line, you see how it like pokes under a little bit, but it never quite like closes under it for the day. If it ever closed for the day, I'd have to look at it and say, okay, fuck, I fucked that one up. Maybe it's going lower, whatever. But that wasn't the case. And actually today, it played with that line, it played with that support. And then today, news came out about Tiki Taki or whatever the fuck the case may be for that one. And look at this beautiful bitch right here. It just fucking exploded, still with legs to me. If you could, and if you buy this at the bottom, I mean, I'm sorry for all the people that bought, at the top at the earnings. Sucks for you. I mean, you obviously you're fucking shit out of luck until it gets there. But at the same time, it has all this room to play because it already made that gap here. So man, once it already busted that support or that resistance support level, whatever that was actually resistance level from the following day after the earnings, as I kind of pointed to here. Once it breaks out, it has all this room to play, to me at least. But yeah, I think that Walmart was another good one for me. You have to be patient with some of these bigger ones. It's not a low float stock, and if you don't know what low float is, I would suggest you look it up. It's not a low float stock, so it takes time for these things to accumulate, to build up, to get that buying pressure. Luckily, with this one, it was actually like extra news, like TikTok. Walmart is teaming up with Microsoft to try to purchase TikTok. So it was different news. It happened faster than I thought to get to that level, but still, you have that really good value there. And if you were like paying attention to their news, you kind of knew something was kind of brewing in terms of like their digital experience, because just a lot of things here. But yeah, you see a lot of good value coming out over average. It blew it up today, and for me, it still is holding that trend. Friday is a very shitty day for stocks because a couple things. I don't like trading on Fridays because there's less volume on Fridays. People are like looking for the weekend. They're trying to make their money, go get some drinking money, take the girl or boy out. So Fridays are a little bit for the bears. Looking for selling. So I think when the market opens, I would have to take a look to see kind of where I'm going to sit on it. But at the same time, like it's if you were looking this as a swing trade for the future, it could have legs going forward because they have a lot of good tailwinds that are pushing it up and to the right, so making money off of it. But yeah, so like I just want to make this super quick. I'm not trying to like take too much time with this. I definitely just wanted to show kind of like what I was looking at. We're about 22 minutes, so I'll probably cut this short. But hey, man, like I said, my parting takeaways: Friday sucks. So if you're trading on Friday, you probably, for me, I don't do it unless it's something I really really want to do. And a day trade, I'll get into something. Usually sell on Fridays, but hey, you play Fridays the way you want to play Fridays. I'm gonna play Fridays because I suck at trading on. It's more of me, my limitation. I suck at trading on Fridays, so I just kind of learned to stay away from it. But hey, if you find value on this, just let me know. We definitely have a bunch of socials going on. Gmail, just bullish underscore solo at gmail.com. You got YouTube, bullish. That's our YouTube channel. Twitter, real underscore bullish. And if you want to stay up with like I get news from all different sources. People send it to me because they know I'm into it. I have a bunch of news apps on my phone, stock apps and stuff. I'll just like, it takes me like 2 seconds to like upload it to Twitter and to the tweeting. I don't know what the fuck how to tweet, but I'm figuring it out. So I put it on there, and sometimes it helps. Just for me to like keep track of the news, so I can look at it later. But also, I get some engagement from that, so that's been pretty cool. So if you want kind of more like up to date information, hey, definitely follow us on Twitter, real underscore bullish. Just posting more often there. Got a Twitch, bullish one, all one word. I also got a stock. If anyone does on stock twits, real underscore bullish, same as my Twitter. And basically, if you're into stock twits is a really cool one because it's like more Reddit for stocks. But yeah, I guess I will end it there, and hopefully you guys find some value in this. But look out for Sunday because I got some hot takes I'm gonna bring on Sunday. I'm gonna bring some fucking heat on Sunday, or I might not. I don't know. Maybe I'll just bullshit around a little bit. But yeah, I really appreciate the support. My last video had 5 views. Well, what? So maybe we can double that, 10 views. Now I'm just kidding. I haven't even watched it. I probably suck. I should probably watch that shit. But yeah, I appreciate you guys' engagement and stuff. And if there's value in it, I hope that there is. Just to even start thinking about it. If you have any questions, just let me know. I love helping people out. I love helping people figure stuff out. I hate like I don't give people. I don't say do this. Like trade this, buy it this, or sell it that. Just because like I don't want to do that. Like I'm not educated enough to like make other people money. I'm not certified to do that. I'm just telling you what works for me, but also what doesn't work for me. When I lose, I lose. But hopefully, you win more than you lose. When you're trading stocks, you're gonna fucking lose money. That's just an inevitable. Even the best traders, aren't right 100% of the time. Even the top 1%. It's about extending your money, about limiting your risk. but also like having the best risk to reward ratio that you can. And I'll go into some more of that like deeper shit, at a later date. Some of that more advanced stuff, not more advanced, but more intermediate stuff. It's not really advanced. It's just like, hey, take care of your money, protect your chicken, as Marshawn Lynch likes to say. But yeah, I appreciate the support, and yeah, I'll see you all guys on Sunday.